Now, the government is taking immediate steps to enhance the power to gas initiative through a deliberate generation. Minister of State for utilizing the substantial natural gas resources. The initiative is designed to enhance electricity generation, foster economic development, and improve Nigeria's global competitiveness by focusing on the comprehensive development and utilization of gas resources. Now, the government's goal is to address chronic electricity shortages, stimulate industrial growth, and promote cleaner energy solutions. This will be achieved by prioritizing domestic gas utilization and investing in critical infrastructure. The government is owed approximately 209 trillion cubic feet of proven gas reserves. On the show today, we will be looking at TV Africa. I am Justin Akadonye. Now, in the wake of the International Youth Day, the organizers of the Peak Performer Boot Camp have urged of the Peak Performers immersive sessions led by distinguished speakers from diverse sectors who shared insight on how young people can optimize their potential, draw inspiration from the positive experiences of leaders, and uphold responsibility and dedication in the pursuit of their objectives. Details now. It is the 2024 edition of the International Youth Day. This gathering has been put together by the Peak Performer in collaboration with the United States Diplomatic Mission in Nigeria, as well as American Corner in Ikeja. Tagged Emerge 2024, this yearly workshop is focused on boosting career and business growth for young Africans.
In this part of the world, once you can believe it, you can do it.
Understand who you are, where you are, and your peculiarities.
The event aims to provide up-and-coming leaders and youths with the key skills and mindset necessary for success in their careers and industries. The workshop gathered young professionals from various backgrounds and included notable speakers who shared their personal journeys to motivate and uplift the attendees.
Yeah, as young leaders, to speak to ourselves and encourage ourselves in our process of becoming in a country that is currently experiencing a very hostile economic situation. So we are here today to just say to ourselves that if we believe, we can achieve whatever it is we believe, regardless of what the country or the circumstance.
Of what I wanted to do with my career, I did not want to be able to have reason to this point. So there was a vision that I had, and of course, your vision determines your actions. So what you have a vision on will determine the kind of places you go to, the kind of the kind of education you will give to yourself. So for me, I have a strong vision of what I want to achieve, where I want to get to, and that is what has kept the other guys that we know there.
In the youth to nurture a generation
is built over time. And so for every young person out there who are doing their best, to survive, I want to challenge you that what you should be thinking of is not just survival, but thriving. Understanding that greatness is not a sudden incident.
By equipping young people with the right mindset, the event plays a pivotal communities. All right, welcome back from that report. Now, moving on, the Group Chief Executive Officer of the NNPC Limited, Malam Mele Kyari, has declared that the drive to bring compressed natural gas closer to Nigerians has committed in, and its partners will also build 3 liquefied natural gas stations in Ajaokuta. Kyari commended President Bola Tinubu for providing the necessary support to drive domestic gas utilization, which aims to deliver a cleaner and cheaper energy sources to Nigerians. He assured that the NNPCL will continue to deliver more strategic gas projects to benefit the Nigerian people in line with the presidential CNG initiative of bringing prosperity to all Nigerians. Kyari also reaffirmed NNPC's determination to guarantee the nation's energy security. Now, public affairs analyst Mustafa Iwinla joins me now for more discussion on the CNG. Thanks for joining us, Mustafa.
Thank you for having me, Justin.
All right, CNG is been in the news since last year when the president announced that subsidy is gone, and the Nigerians were wondering how they were able to circumvent the issue of fuel scarcity, high cost of PMS and all of that. It was as though the CNG was the next good thing after bread and butter, if I may say. Sure. But then It's been 1 year. We are yet to start enjoying the fruits and the benefit of CNG. And the federal government is also looking at another angle right now to get into e-hailing. But let's talk about the CNG buses and the CNG initiative so far. What are your thoughts?
So I think this is a very laudable initiative by the federal government, if it is, well, executed. I mean, for people like us, we've always clamored for CNG-powered vehicles and even the LNG, the liquefied natural gas, and because ultimately it's going to reduce a lot of stress on our petrol and diesel vehicles. If you look at what has been happening in our petroleum sector in the past couple of years, you see that we depend so much on petrol, and the time we look for alternative fueling system like the CNGs and the LNGs, I think is the right time as we speak today. If you go to countries like the UK, for example, the UK has a total number of 1.1 million registered CNG vehicles that are powered electrically. And the UK is also saying that in the year 2035, there will hardly be any vehicle on the road that will be using petrol or diesel. They are not making it mandatory, but you will hardly see a brand new car that is going to be sold at any car dealership that will be petrol or diesel, because they want to electrify the whole system. And I think that's also the cue the federal government is also looking at, which I think is highly commendable, because it will reduce the long queues on the road, and it will also reduce a lot of the cost of transportation in the urban centers for people to commute effectively. If you go to the US, for example, I think the US has started this electric and CNG powered vehicles for for a while now, and as we speak today, the United States of America has about 2,500,000 registered electric vehicles that has also reduced their pressure on petrol and also diesel. So I think again is a good step. And we are finally seeing the effect of having the government who listens. But my biggest worry is just the functionality and the sustainability of this policy. Okay, let's even get into that, the sustainability and functionality of this initiative. We know how initiatives sometimes start in the country midway, we'll just flung it and we don't even know what happens to it. Looking at the situation in our downstream sector with our oil and gas, but how prepared do you really think we are for the CNG? Because when it was really announced, people were really excited about it, but then there was this school of thought that believed that it will actually start affecting the price of LNG, what Nigerians use for cooking. Don't you think there might be some sort of issue because there will be more demand for CNG, that somehow the price of LNG might be affected? So compressed natural gas and liquefied natural gas are very essential items that I think that we need to start to imbibe the culture of using. I know that sometimes in my house I used to use the LNG to power my generator, and I don't use petrol. Okay. I've been doing that for over 5 years, and it has been very effective. So at times when maybe I'll get you to teach me. Yes. So at times when people have to go on queues to look for fuel, I don't even bother myself. I just use my gas cylinder, connect it to my gen, and I'm getting power. So I think yes, it's not going to. So I think there's going to be a balance. There's going to be a balance in the consumption of CNG, and there's also going to be a balance in the consumption of LNG. If you look at what has happened, the NNPC is saying that they're going to give 50% discount to e-hailing apps for drivers like the Ubers, the Volt, and all that. And I think it's also going to help reduce the cost. Okay, fine. Let's even get to that now that you have mentioned that. The NURTW, they are also in the news with their Eritrean counterpart. They are, from what we hear, with this conversion, NURTW and Eritrean are getting free. Then those who do the Union of Road Transport Workers, is the Nigerian arm of our transport union that helps us to commit people from different points to another. So most of these e-hailing, the apps, the taxis and all that, most of them are not locally and are not Nigerian, complaints.
No, they're not.
So, I mean, for the government to say that giving them 50% discount, it's a step for, to, cushion a lot of effect for them in terms of the price for fuel. Now, fuel is sold for at least 800, 750 in some places. So if the government is giving them 50% discount, it's something to help them to reduce their stress too. There's always been a lot of synergy between the NURTW and the government because they are just a arm of the government.
And they're actually closer to the people because
Yes,
the average Nigerian commutes with the yellow Danfo bus.
You can imagine all the yellow Danfo buses and all the the BRTs and all that. So it's easier for people to reduce the cost of that. That's why we're saying that people spend so much on transportation.
Okay.
In a country where people earn 100,000 naira and spend 90,000 naira on transportation in a month, so that's a problem. But with the implementation of the CNGs and the it will drastically reduce transportation cost for Nigerians, and it will have a positive impact on our means of livelihood. That you know what I mean. So I think it's a good step. Again, I've also tried to look at the app. One of the things that we also need to look at is, again, the functionality of these things. I've downloaded the app and I've tried to also register just to see how practical these things are.
So
because
is it practical?
Very practical, because one of the things that it's not enough to implement policies. How practical is this policy? Is it going to be very sustainable? So in a case where I've downloaded the app, I've registered, and at a point it tells you that it will send you an email for verification. Okay. So I downloaded the app sometime last night. But I'm still waiting for that email to verify my email, to verify my account. Yeah. So for now, whatever thing I have to do with the app now is on hold, pending when
you get your verification.
I get my verification in my email. So those are the issues. So I don't think sending the email for verification should take this long. So in a place where people want to, subscribe to this policy, but all those like this registration and all that, because once you register on the app, you now need to look for conversion centers close to you. Then it's not that's where the points to go to. In the UK, where they use electric cars, I've said it, 1.1 million registered electric cars in the UK, a country of 69 million. And they're saying that in the year 2035 they want to outface fuel and petrol cars. So I've registered, and I think that's why in the UK, if you go around the UK, you will see electric chargers all around different malls. So these conversion centers has to be enough.
Yeah, that's the next question, because when you talk to the mind is the conversion centers and how adequate and how close are they to the people, and if we do have enough.
Service centers too. Okay. Service centers. So imagine that